There's a really popular myth that coal miners would take canneries with them into the mine, and if the cannery died, they would know that poisonous gas is there, and they would leave and seal the shaft and not go in there. The myth here is that coal miners actually have humanity, have heart to them. Otherwise, they would not have made a union. They would not have unionized, and as such, they took very good care of these canneries, made sure that they were fine and healthy, and that they only fainted. And when they fainted, they booked it out to make sure that the cannery was fine and alive. This leads to the idea of canneries and fiction, of a group that is expendable and sent into dangerous situations to either resolve them or to die because they're expendable. The Suicide Squad is such a thing, as is our crew in Season 8 of Red Dwarf, where for plot reasons, the Red Dwarf is restored, our core cast is put in jail, and for a lessened prison sentence, Lister gets everybody signed up for the Cannaries, thinking, hey, sounds like a quar, but it's not. It's a group of expendable prisoners that goes out to dangerous planets and can die. Cannaries, as a thing, should be used more in media criticism and reviews. Because if you don't have such a thing, you won't know how bad of a thing the creators do. How bad of a job they do representing things, how much they butcher it, how fucked up it gets. One of the things I remember, one of such situations I remember, is around Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red was notoriously, and probably still is, very transphobic during the days leading up to the release, through the advertising. They co-opted a hashtag that was made to refuse to fight back against Trump, who was president of the United States at the time, trying to legislate trans people out of definition, out of existence. We won't be erased, so as to advertise their storefront. CD Projekt Red used the hashtag to advertise good old games. Their honestly nice storefront where you can get games DRM, except itch.io also offers that, so just use itch.io. Furthermore, there's the transphobic advertising poster of Chromanticore inside of the game Cyberpunk 2077 of a woman in a very tight leotard and a cock with more veins than a coal mine that's just been discovered, which was drawn by a chaser, fun fact. This poster was later cosplayed by a cis woman cosplayer who shoved a glowing dildo down her front to recreate the figure of that dick in the poster. All these things led people to suggest, hey, don't play, don't engage it, don't give it money. Which, in Cyberpunk's case, was easy. It was released on Good Old Games. Good Old Games was DRM free, still is, meaning if you get the installer from Good Old Games, you can just install the game. And that is how a lot of people gained access to Cyberpunk 2077, which is how we got all the glitch compilations, and all the bug compilations, and all the reviews and complaining about performance, without people acknowledging, hey, it's more transphobic than we thought at first. If you don't know the plot, in Cyberpunk 2077, you play as V, a mercenary with one of 3 origin stories, and you can play a male V or a female V, and then you can give the girl V a dick, because you can just do any genitals on any of the people, any of the 3 options. Hey, there's 3 options for genitals? Yeah, cut dick and uncut dick. As you play the game, early on, you fuck up a heist and end up with a biochip that's in your brain, plugged in and fried, and releasing nanobots. On this biochip was stored the consciousness of one Jonathan Silverhand, who in this game is played by Keanu Reeves and was made into a complete asshole in contrast to just being a lovable douchebag in the tabletop role-playing game that Cyberpunk 2077 was adapted from. The biochip sees V as a tumor, as a consciousness that should not be in the body, and so progressively starts erasing you, restructuring the brain to make it Johnny Silverhands, which is horrific if you're playing a trans woman, because as part of one quest, you can give Johnny control, and he declares, when talking to somebody, won't be a girl for much longer. Meaning he fully intends to detransition the body of V if he gains control of it. There are 3 endings to the game, at least as far as I'm aware and I know of. There's the ending where you do give Johnny your body. And of course, then he's just gonna transform the body into himself as he had before. He's gonna detransition it. He's moved into your house, evicted you, and tore out the garden that you spent so long putting in the rose bushes, the flower beds, making the place your own, making it your own body, and he just steals it. There's the ending where you get him kicked out with the help of a corporate lady, but then you become a shill and it's not satisfying. And then there's the ending that I took, where you ride with the nomads, free all the captured consciousnesses that the company holds, and you become a digitized consciousness yourself that's gonna get uploaded into your body, to preserve you. But as you sit there in the digital space, ready to go, Johnny goes, if we do this, your body is still gonna see you as a virus, as something that should not be there. You're gonna have like 6 months to live before you get rejected by your own body. You can still give me your body and go into the light, join all those digitized consciousness in the net, or you can go back. Me, I did go back. I did not let Johnny Silverhand have my body. And it's a bittersweet ending, but it's one of the more satisfying ones because you ride out of the city with the nomad caravan, with your romantic interest, Judy in my case, sitting beside you in the car, and you're driving somewhere hoping to resolve it, to gain control back of your body. If people did not play the game, they would not know all these horrific things, all the transphobia that is present in the game's main story if you decide to play a trans woman V. And because of that, Cannaries are important for media criticism, because it's the people that are fully impacted by the shitty politics of a piece of media, approaching that piece of media, stealing their hearts, diving in and looking for all the faults that exist in that piece of media so that they can critique it. They can point out all the bullshit. Like when Jessie did the 2 videos about Matt Walsh's movie, What is a Woman? She had to dive in there. She had to dive into all the transphobic stuff that she's covered. And we do not criticize her for engaging with the media to destroy it, to point out all the fallacies, all the mistakes, all the disinformation these things do. So, why is it that we're not letting trans people and Jewish people approach Hogwarts Legacy from this critical point of view so that they can go in and highlight just how bad the game gets with everything? You see, if we did not have at least one cannery going in, we would not know that the game has a token trans woman that's part of a quest line as like an info broker, and has a line that goes, yeah, my classmates did not realize I'm a witch, and her name is fucking Sir Ryan. Sir Rona Ryan. Well, that's it. We also would not know that it's even bigger blood libel than at first assumed. Because, hey, when people finished it, somebody was kind enough to just spoil the ending, which has become a copy pasta. And as it turns out, the main villain frames the goblins for everything, meaning the fuckers did a blood libel story, and that's even worse, depending on how the goblins actually get depicted. If it's like, yeah, actually it's blood libel, and then you play the game and you go, actually they are acting the way Jewish people get portrayed in blood libel. Like, doesn't matter if the plot actually is, yeah, this is a blood libel, if the goblins are acting the way Jews were framed during blood libels. Which, I don't know, I haven't played it. I don't have access to it because it's got the Nuva protections, and the people playing it currently are cowards that would not approach it. You know how I know that? Because everybody is dunking on the IGN review of the game, giving it a 9 out of 10, and then when you listen to the review or read it, you go, oh, so the combat is garbage. The inventory is tiny. The game is a glitchy, buggy, unfinished mess that should not have been released whatsoever in this state, or at all, to be honest. The workers have already been exploited out of their wages, their labor had their wages stolen for this shit. And you're giving it a 9 out of 10 because you're a Potter fanboy? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but grow the fuck up. Grow a spine. And tell us, hey, this game is garbage. Here's how. Because there is a tiny, tiny pinned comment on the IGN review of the game that's like, yeah, we know Rowling's been Rowlinging, but we're here to tell you if a game is fun or not. And then you give the game a 9 out of 10, and you're like, yeah, the gameplay is garbage, the visuals are garbage, the thing barely fucking works, but hey, it's Potter, so it's fun. It's like, that's not how you do reviews, that's not how you do critiques. And hence I propose Cannaries. That somebody affected by the negative politics of a piece of media approaches it so that they can critique it. Basically, I'm waiting for somebody else to be a canary. Possibly James Stephanie Sterling, who knows? It's not like they're gonna buy the game, but they're gonna have to talk about it as part of their job. And admittedly, I thought about being a canary, but it's got the nouveau, so it's gonna take months before it's actually cracked for people to play it and be canaries. And I have so many other games to play that are actually fun, that I actually enjoy, that I want to play more of, instead of engaging with this shit. Like, holy shit, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is amazing. I'm playing that right now, and it's great. So yeah, I guess that's that for this unedited footage. Get more canaries to play with problematic media so that they can come back and tell us just how bad these things are, so we can critique it properly instead of just going off of a quick gut reaction to a thing. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the 10th, 8 p.m. Central European Time, which is 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. in Eastern Time, and 11 a.m. Is that right? Yeah, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Yeah, it's the middle of the day. I'm sorry, but it's not like you're gonna be busy. At least not the people that are gonna watch the stuff. And it's for Europeans, admittedly. See you then, and I appreciate that you watched this video and that you're willing to consider the idea of canaries for media. Bye.